What's going on, everybody? It's Joe Genta with Trend Trading Academy. I'm here to help you trade and get paid. We're doing back to basics today, and today I'm going to talk to you about the trend line. I'm going to help you to understand how to trade profitably from the trend line. Super simple stuff here, very basic, and even the most beginning trader can use what I'm about to show you today to make serious profit in the market, all right? So make sure you pay attention. Make sure you follow every single step that I lay out for you because it will be valuable, all right? So, no further ado, let's get to the charts. All right, guys, so let's talk about trend lines. And when we talk about trend lines, we're talking about, basically it's a diagonal level of support and resistance. Okay, so when you see price that is setting higher highs and higher lows, we get to use trend lines to help us to understand how far, how strong, basically the speed, the strength, and the overall move that a trend is giving us. Now, trend lines are really not used for a consolidating or a ranging market. They're used for trending markets. Okay, so when we see a bullish trend, which means we're getting higher highs and higher lows, then we can use a trend line. If we're seeing a bearish trend, which means we're getting lower lows and lower highs, then we can use a trend line to mark up our chart. So what we're going to do in this example is I'm going to show you a couple of things that we can do with a trend line that I think are really powerful and I think will help your trading. So we're in replay mode. We're on the GBP AUD 1 hour chart. And so we're kind of back testing. I'm going to show you here. So you see we had a bullish move here, okay? And then, of course, we see we had this bearish move, all right? So how do we know when it's going to end? Well, number one, we see that we're seeing a reduction. We're seeing a slowdown period at a level of support. So we know we have a level back here of support, and we want to see how this responds to this previous level. So we go to the next candle, and what ends up happening is we get us a nice pin bar, which basically is a rejection at this previous level. So at that point, we're looking for that to be confirmed as a new low or a reversal zone. So we're patient, we wait, and we see blue. So now we know that this was the low, all right? And because this wick is bigger than this body, we can actually start at the bottom of the body. That's another video for another time. I would encourage you to go watch my video on pin bars, and that will help you to understand that. But now that we see blue, and it's an engulfing blue right here, we know that we have a reversal. So we know that we can start our new trend line here. But in order for something to be a trend, we don't just need a reversal. In order for something to be a confirmed trend, and if this is a reversal to the upside or the bullish side, then we're looking for a starting point, which is a low. We would want a high, a higher low, and a higher high. That is what we would need to be into a confirmed uptrend from this most recent reversal. So let's see how it plays out. So we get some bullish movement. We got our high. So now we get a reversal here. We start a pullback right here. Real nice. Everything's going according to plan so far. And look, we get a new low confirmed by the engulfing blue. So we have a low, a high, a higher low, and now we're just looking for a higher high, and we have it. So we have a higher high here. So at that point, guess what we can do? We can drop a trend line from here and just go straight on through. 1, 2, straight on through. Remember that. 1, 2, straight on through. Now, I see a lot of you guys, you got trend lines that are all over the place. You got a trend line that's down here, down here like this. Look, 1, 2, straight on through. So now that we have our trend line in place, what we want to do is we want to see how price is going to react to the trend line. So if this is a bullish trend, then what we would expect to happen is for low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low should reject the trend line and continue an uptrend. If it breaks the trend line and goes to the downside, then we would be looking for a retest, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So let's see what happens here, and let's see how price reacts to our trend line. You see it's almost there, and look where we are. Okay, we're at the trend line, and let's see how price reacts. We get a real nice rejection. It tries to push through, but the bullish movement is far too strong. So we see a candle close on the upside after trying to push through. It tried to go down to the low, but notice it did not go lower than our previous low. So it rejects our trend line, and because we know we have a rejection of the trend line and the same candle is engulfing, well, guess what we can do? We can enter on the next candle. As soon as this next candle opens, we're in, because we have low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, big time rejection. Let's get in at the next candle. Boom. Look at that. Right there, just off of a trend line, we were able to catch 75 pips on 2 hours. All right, basically 2 candles. We were able to catch 75 pips simply by looking at a rejection of a trend line. Really, really powerful stuff here. All right, now I want to keep going because I want to show you what happens next. So let's stretch this out a little bit longer, and let's show you what happens next. Let's see how price responds to the trend line again, because again, if we're looking for another rejection, then we would be able to set a higher, we have low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, which is a big move. That's kind of tells me that the move is, this is the move that we were looking for. Now we want to see how it reacts to the trend line again. Does it reject the trend line for an even higher high? So, and here's the thing is we really don't have to stop there, because we see where it rejects this top level of support at this level. So we essentially could ride this until this price comes back down to our trend line. We're in a buy. So we could continue to ride this trade. And so you eat a little bit of drawdown right here, pullback, no big deal. More bullish movement. There's a little bit more pullback. Right? We're starting to get pulled back a little bit. We get some more bullish movement here, and we want to see if price comes back to the trend line. All right, so let's see what happens next. And look what happens. We come right back to the trend line. All right, so now we have all of that big move up there, and we have another higher low. Let's see how price reacts to the trend line. This time, price broke the trend line. So now we're no longer looking to try to buy anymore. Now we're looking to see how price would react to the bottom of the trend line. Is it going to reject it the same way it rejected the top of the trend line? See how it came back and rejected it over here and pushed away from it? Well, now it's on the bottom of the trend line. Is it going to push away from it again? And look what happens. Rejection. Guys, look at this. And I can go all the way down. Okay? So my point is, what I'm hoping that you understand here today is very simple. When we come to the trend line, we simply want to know how price is going to react to the trend line. When we did not get a rejection but a breakthrough, now we're looking to see if it retests, which it comes down, it pushes back up, it retests. Right in here, we could, as soon as we see that blue candle taken over again, we are able to get into the trade. So boom, right here, we're able to get into the trade there. If you want to be a little bit more patient and wait for the retest again, you could get in here at the red candle. Okay, wait for this blue pullback. Or you could just get in at the breakout itself, and you might have, come all the way down here and pulled all the way back. And then, it really just depends on what kind of a trader you are. But if you're a scalper, you could take the breakout. You could have taken it right down to here and caught a 70 from the upside and then 70 on the downside. All right. If you're a more patient trader, maybe you waited for this to happen and seeing the pullback. You got the rejection, and look at that. 112 pips, right? You could have gotten all of that. It just really depends on how you wanted to trade off of the trend line. Either way, the point is, all we really need to know is how is price reacting once we have a confirmed trend, high or low, high, higher low, higher high. Now I want to know how price, the next move, I want to know how price is going to react to that trend line. I got my push away, boom. Now I want to see how it reacts again. This time it broke. I get in and I can get it down to the downside. Because essentially, in order for this to go bullish, it would have to come back to my trend line. So in order for me to even think that I'm going bullish again, I'd have to break back above my trend line again. So as long as I'm below my trend line, I'm good to go. All right. So guys, I hope this helps. This trend line video is going to be very quick, very direct, and I know that it can be very powerful, helping you to understand the simplicity of how to trade the trend line. All right, guys, there you have it. Back to basics, trend line, trade away from the trend line. Let's just see how price reacts when it gets to a trend line. That's really everything you need to know when you trade the trend line, all right? So add that to your repertoire. You've already learned about support and resistance. You're probably already understand pips and things like that. But take this trend line understanding, add it to your repertoire for your trading, and watch and see how much more profit you can add simply by trading away from the trend line, all right? And guys, if you want to become a student and go even further in your Forex journey, let's take you there. Go to www.trendtrading.academy. It's posted below. Join us there, become a student. I'm telling you, the whole team is eating together, all right? Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.